Welcome everyone to the October 27th meeting of the Rotary Club of Marshalltown. And thank you to Arlene for our great dinner music. It was very appropriate today, finishing with Autumn Leaves. We appreciate it. Carrie Barr will lead us in the prayer and pledge.
Will you pray with me? Dear Heavenly Father, as Rotarians, we are generally blessed with lives of relative luxury and opportunities unknown to so many others. Help us to review our checkbooks and indeed the registers of our lives with honesty as we consider our priorities and our opportunity to help others. Open our hearts and our accounts to those in need while still providing us with appropriate fruits of our own labors. Help us to share not only our tangible wealth with the world and also our intangible riches of knowledge, leadership, and creativity to make our city, our nation, and our world a better place filled with the peace and love that you can bring through us. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Carrie. We do have some guests today, Jim Goodman, Erin McGregor, and Carrie Barr. Would you both? Oh, okay, Carrie, it just seems like a guest when Paul Barr shows up. So we're glad to have you here, Paul. Erin, you wanna? Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, good afternoon. My guest today is Keir Johnson. He is a trust officer and vice president at Grinnell State Bank, and he's got a law degree. He's just moved into the area from Minnesota, and he's destined to be the Grinnell president of Rotary Club. So I thought it appropriate to bring him up here and show him what a real Rotary Club was all about. Very high standard.
Hi, my guest is my husband, John Payne. I just brought him along for moral support today. So,
Welcome. And I'm not aware of any guests online today. If so, let Kim know. Okay, Jackie Wyand is going to help us recognize student Rotarians.
I got to have Elijah come up and join me. Could have done that too, but I'm still chewing my food. Sorry. So Elijah, thank you for being with us during the month of October. We'd like to give you a certificate and a Rotary coin, which has the four-way test on there so that you can remember. And Elijah was sharing how he's been busy applying for scholarship and has to prepare for his audition for college at his college visit, things like that. So he's a very busy young man. So we were lucky that during our COVID high school, as he's calling it now, that he was able to join us. And so we, after you've made friends with all of these people, hope that you'll come back to Rotary as a servant leader in the town of Marshalltown. So thank you for being with us. Do you want to say something?
I don't have anything to say. Thanks.
Thank you for being here, Eli, or Elijah, I guess. Okay, announcements. Jim Laurence has an announcement.
Well, thank you, President Mary. Carrie, your prayer was very appropriate lead-in for this announcement because you mentioned opening our pocketbooks. And this is an opportunity for people to put on your calendar to open your pocketbook again. Friday, November 13th, Rotary is going to be participating in ringing bells for the Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign. Again, we'll be at Hy-Vee, and we have people that I thought deserved recognition for signing up. We put out a notice, and I think within a few hours, we had all of the slots filled. So even have a couple that are, just in case somebody has to drop out, have a couple in the wings waiting to step in. That's Friday, November 13th from 11 o'clock through 2 o'clock. So please make it a point if you can to stop by Hy-Vee, buy a few groceries, drop some money in the kettle. And if you can't, we'll be glad to take your money next week. I do want to recognize these folks, Doug Reese, Bob Moore, Dan Vellinga, pardon me, Erin Schutte, Laura Lasik, Jackie Wyant, and Nico Egbert. So thank you to all for bringing your checkbooks or your loose change, dollar bills, anything. And also thank you to the bell ringers that have volunteered for this.
Thank you, Jim. John Fink has a report on our warm coat project.
Thank you, President Giese. It's been communicated to us that the coats will be arriving at the police fire station this Thursday. And we're looking to unpack the boxes and get the coats ready for the various schools on Friday, starting at 9 a.m. We would ask for some volunteers to help with that. We could probably use 5 to 6 people. Shouldn't take very long. And I think we're also planning on hopefully delivering them to the school on Friday also, the various schools. So anyone that could help would be greatly appreciated. We'd like to thank you again for your donations towards this effort. And we purchased 276 coats. So hopefully the students at the schools will be much warmer this winter. And we also have the snow boot project going on with the nurses at the various locations. So those that will be without snow boots, hopefully we can get boots on their feet so they can play outside. So again, this Friday at 9 a.m., if you can make it. I know Abigail Pelzer said that she would help, and maybe she could bring a camera along and give us some advertising in the newspaper too. So thank you very much.
Thank you, John. And remind us, you would like people who are interested in helping to notify Kim or you, or please restate that.
They can notify me, and
okay.
I'm in the phone book with a landline, so you can call me at that landline number. So yes, please let me know.
Great, thank you very much. And this is a good time for a commercial for people to get on our Rotary Club website, because I think John's contact information is also listed there. So if you haven't ever visited our website, this would be a good excuse.
Also, we'd like everyone to bring a mask with them.
Yes.
They help, so.
Thank you. I would like to publicly apologize for the business part of our meetings that have run over time a couple of times. And so I just want you all to know that I've made a resolution to not let that happen again, because we have such wonderful programs and I want to be respectful of everybody who has done that preparation. So I have a clock. So, and Kim and I have reworked the agenda so that I can write down time allotments. So hopefully we'll reach our goal here and be able to do the business that we'd like, as well as give ample time for our program presenters. By way of announcements, at our last meeting on October 20th, we had 41 people in attendance, 27 in person and 14 on Zoom. And a reminder that in order to accurately track our attendance, we're asking that everyone write your names down on the pink sheets. Don't forget to do that on your tables. This includes student Rotarians and guests. And for those people who are on Zoom, please just make sure that we can see your name on the list of attendees. And this has taken a really big leap forward in importance, because if you were here last week, you saw that those with perfect attendance for the first quarter got some candy from Lily Mays. So it's really worth it to write your name down on the pink sheet, because we'll have another recognition after the next quarter. And if you have to miss a meeting, as sometimes that does happen, a reminder that Rotary Makeups have moved to Wayward Social. They start at 4:30, go to 5:30 every Friday. And so if you attend one of those, it's your responsibility to email Kim, who's the keeper of our attendance records, so that she can give you credit for that. So again, and if you want to go ahead of time and make up ahead of time, just on general principle, I'm sure you would be welcome. Happy news. Anybody have happy news you'd like to share? Thank you, Vic. You want to come up or?
Zoom people can hear as well. I had a very good experience on Sunday, an early Christmas gift from my two daughters, and I got a flight on a B-17 over there, which my father was a ball turret gunner back in World War II, and it was very nostalgic for me to be able to do that.
Any other happy news?
Like to invite everyone, if they're so inclined, to come out to the Marshalltown Court Complex, which is adjacent to Marshalltown High School. We've got grand opening, ribbon cutting this afternoon. It's really been somewhat of a labor of love. It's been about the smoothest construction project that I've ever been a part of. Clapsaddle Garber was part of that, along with FEH and Garland Construction. The City of Marshalltown, the Martha Ellen Ty Foundation, and the school district really came together collaboratively to create what I think is going to be a tremendous asset to the youth and adults of this community going forward. We're not quite substantially completed. The weather the last couple of weeks kind of hindered everything being ready to be signed off, but it's certainly, you can certainly see the presence that it's going to have within the community, and the courts are ready to use. So hopefully you can come out and take a look, or if you're not able to this afternoon at 4:30, stop by anytime and take a look. You can enter the tennis complex or the pickleball complex from either side. There's stairs now leading up from the east side up to the complex, and then there's a beautiful parking lot off of 2nd Avenue South, which hasn't existed before, which makes it really convenient as well.
Thank you and congratulations. Other happy news? Okay, if not, Todd, we're ready for the regular news.
Good afternoon again, everybody. More than 750,000 Iowans have already voted this month. The Iowa Secretary of State's website shows that nearly 916,000 Iowans have requested an absentee ballot, either through the mail or at their county auditor's office. More than 751,000 Iowans have already cast those votes. 8 days out from election night, 4 years ago, just under 400,000 Iowans had voted early. And according to Dan Benson, in Marshall County, 9,988 ballots, or 85% of requested ballots, have been turned in. Marshall County residents can still vote early at the former fire station at 109 South 1st Avenue from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Tuesday through Thursday, and from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Friday through Monday. The results of the absentee and early votes will not be made public until after the polls close at 9 p.m. on November 3rd. Residents of the Kester Cross Country Estates urged the Marshalltown City Council to reject an updated plat for the South Ridge Estates subdivision and revert to the previously proposed plat during Monday's regular meeting. The city purchased land on South Ridge Road near Governor Road to develop the South Ridge Estates subdivision after the property was on the market. The current plat is for 15 lots, the majority of which would be 67 feet wide by about 119 feet deep from the street. About 60 residents of the neighborhood signed a letter asking the council to reconsider its plans for development. After a lot of discussion and exploration of needs, construction equipment is ready to go with work on updates at the Marshalltown Airport. Marshalltown Aviation Director Steve Albrecht says the initial work is to prepare for the featured improvements. Steve says that the new hangar and terminal are anticipated to be completed by later next year. Even with the recent rain and snow, much of Iowa is still far short of precipitation for the year, and we're heading into drier, colder seasons with little chance of replenishing soil moisture levels before spring. Meteorologist Dennis Today, who heads up the USDA's Midwest Climate Hub in Ames, says the expected weather patterns don't look promising for significant rainfall or snowfall, noting August of 2020 was the driest in Iowa in 148 years. Iowa farmers are now 75% finished with corn harvest. That's 3 weeks ahead of last year. Farmers have harvested 94% of the soybean crop, which is also 3 weeks ahead of last year. And hunters are getting set before Saturday, before they go as part of the pheasant season. According to the August roadside survey, it shows there should be plenty of birds available. Finally, with Halloween on the way, a vampire's werewolf was having a problem, so he took him to the vet. The vet looked at the werewolf and says that we'll have to take him to the examination room. Now, in the examination room, he takes a black cat out of a cage and lets the black cat walk all over the werewolf. But the werewolf doesn't do anything. Doctor says, your werewolf is dead. The vampire goes out to the receptionist and asks for the bill. That'll be $666, said the receptionist. What? $666? How's that possible? Well, it's $66 for the consultation and $600 for the CAT scan. Mary, that came out of your book, that book you gave me. Am I starting the program now, or is there more to go? Okay, we're going good. So today's program is Erin McGregor. She's the great-granddaughter of James R. McGregor, who was one of the two partners that started McGregor's Furniture in 1896. Now, rather than give you a bunch of stats about Erin, you can get those on your trading cards, the McGregor's trading cards that will be handed out. They come with a stick of gum, just like when you were a kid. I want to brag on Erin for a second, if I can, which she's loving over there. About a year following the 2018 tornado, I hosted an hour-long anniversary special covering the tornado on Iowa's Best Country Kids 101.1 and News Talk 1230 KFJB. And for weeks leading up to that special, I sat down with a lot of people from the community. I think Joel, I talked to you and Mike Tupper and Steve Hoffman and Kim Elder and a lot of people from around the community. One of the people I talked to was Erin McGregor. And one thing that stood out to me in that conversation, one thing that sticks out with me about that conversation today was that she was not at McGregor's when that tornado hit. And as a leader, she felt she needed to be there. It really tore her up that she wasn't in the store when that happened at that very moment. No concern for herself, she wanted to be there for her staff. And that's a huge sign of a true leader, I believe. So she wanted to be there. She wanted to make sure her staff was okay. And I think that speaks volumes of the type of person that I think that Erin is. I can also tell you that Erin is dreading getting up here and talking today, but I'm anxious to hear more about the history of McGregor's, and I know that all of us would like to first of all give a big congratulations and a round of applause to Erin and the staff at McGregor's for finally being back on Main Street in Marshalltown. Please welcome Erin McGregor, everybody.
Yeah, Todd's right about that. I told my husband last night I'd rather go to the gynecologist than do this today. And I know you men don't know what that's like, but we women were right there. So yeah, but as a Rotarian, you don't say no, even when Tom has to stalk you out into the parking lot to pin you down on doing it, right, Tom? So I'm going to talk just very briefly about history. You guys all probably have heard the history. We started in business in 1896, almost as old as Vic's company, right around there. but you've all heard the history. Bob McGregor did a presentation, gosh, I think 7, 8 years ago about the whole history, a very great presentation. So I didn't want to get too much into that. I wanted to go, this is the building that we purchased back in 1928, 29 here in Marshalltown, and that's our building. It looks a lot different today. It looked a lot different from when we purchased it through the years and hit all the windows, and then the tornado kind of tore it apart and we found another opportunity. So I kind of want to fast forward a little bit. Kim, if you want to go to the next slide. The day of the tornado, a lot of you have seen this photo. I feel like in the last 2 years, I've lived about 100, it feels like sometimes. There was a lot. And he's right, that day I had run home to be with my kids because the tornado was heading toward our house, we thought originally. And so I was home, and just as I was home, I got a call from my staff, and they were in the basement, and they said glass is breaking, the building's shaking. So I got back in the car, took my kids, probably not the best thing, but remember all this is how it brought this community together, though, and that's part of what I want to talk about. That day we were out on the street, everybody was out on the street, and I got to meet my neighbors that I really didn't, and I hate to say that, but a lot of them I didn't really know very well before the tornado. So it brought us out, we started cleaning up. You can go to the next slide. The alley, there's Todd's Tower. You need to keep your toys to yourself, by the way. So there's one of this tower, and you can go to the next one, that's right after. It's a little closer, that we're already boarding up the back windows, because that was the first thing. We thought, okay, well, we've got to make the building secure for tonight. So we started boarding up windows. And you can go to the next slide. I just want to go through some of the Coliseum. And everybody's seen this picture. I'm sorry, I move a lot, so you can't hear me. You know, this is horrible, but out of tragedy comes opportunity, and look at the beautiful new Coliseum we're getting. So, you know, through this 2 years, I really tried to focus on the positive that came out of it. I can sit there and get really depressed about all the loss, but what's the point? It's, you know, you gotta move on. So anyway, I'm gonna go through a couple. Then the next one, this is off my back roof. On that day after, you can get onto the back roofs from our second floor. And I saw that and saw what Raycom had to go through. I don't know if Mike feels the same way, but now he has a beautiful, beautiful new building, and out of tragedy came opportunity again for him. So I think I just said that, I'm sorry. So anyway, I spent a lot of time on that back roof, just kind of surveying everything, and you know, it was a mess, to say the least. And then, let's see, the next photo. Saturday, the lights came back on. Thank you to Alliant. I mean, 2 days after a tornado without electricity. And then I was able to survey the damage inside, and we lost all the furniture because windows came in, debris everywhere. You can't get glass out of furniture. So they, about several $100,000 worth of furniture went out to the door. We don't know, the insurance company took it somewhere, and it was gone. So, let's see, the next one. The reason that this took so long, the fourth floor, the wall and everything came down from there. And so, you know, at first it was just waiting to see if the buildings were salvageable. We had to wait for the structural engineers to do assessment to figure out were we going to lose the building or not at this point. So those first couple of weeks, it was just trying to find answers because nobody had ever dealt with this before, so weren't sure what to do. We decided to take down the fourth floor based on the next photo and the structural engineer. That's a crack and then you can't see it, but it was from floor to ceiling the entire way down the fourth floor. And so it was already starting to move away. And so we finally made a decision to just remove the fourth floor, but we were able to keep the rest of the building. So that was a good thing. Kim, if you'll go to the next one. This is just an example of the fourth floor, and I wanted to bring this up because we had holes obviously everywhere. And Mark, we were just talking about this. He's living the fun now. But during it, you know, it started to rain eventually, if you remember. And so you would go down to our 3rd floor and 2nd floor, and it was like a rainforest of rain just coming through. So my husband, thank God for him, because if I didn't have him, I probably would be in a home right now, drugged or something. But this was just an after. He came in with, and this isn't even a picture, I can find photos of some of this, it's all up here, but of tarps and pipes and sump pumps, because we were pumping the water, trying to pump it into big containers from the 4th floor and taking it out the back. And just trying to remove as much water so it wouldn't continue to come down, because I kept thinking, if I can't save some of this building, I'm gonna lose the whole thing. And so that was the icky 4th floor that is now gone and is a beautiful new ceiling on the 3rd floor. But as this is happening, we're also determining what are we gonna do with all of our employees, how are we gonna get them working, how are we gonna open again, how are we gonna take care of some of our customers that maybe have lost during the tornado. So we knew Yonkers was leaving, contacted the mall. Yonkers moved out on Monday. We took possession on Tuesday. Service Master came in and cleaned all the carpets. Thank you to Chris. Heart of Iowa came in, got us hooked up. I mean, we are so lucky to have some of these people in our community, because I called Chris, I'm like, please, can you? I mean, he was over there like 12 hours one day doing it just to get it done, because we only had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to move in, because it was Labor Day weekend. Big furniture weekend, and we needed to get open. So they got all that done, and then I had staff from all of my stores come over for 3 days, and we moved an entire furniture store in 3 days. And so I can't say enough about how lucky I am to have the staff I do. So, and then the next task, if you want to go to the next, was starting to remove the 4th floor. During the worst winter we've had, if you guys remember, in years. I think we had like 5 blizzards in a matter of 5-6 weeks or something like that. So that got stalled over and over and over. It was supposed to be done January-ish. I don't think we finally got done until April or so. Then, if you want to go to the next one, as spring came, we started to make holes for our new windows. They were already there. If you remember the picture at the very beginning, those window holes were there. Sometime in the 50s, 60s, they thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool to put stuff over the windows? I don't know why, but so we thought, well, we already have to replace all these walls on the inside and outside anyway. Let's put the windows back in. And then with the help of City and Grant and all of our wonderful people that are there to help the people at the city, we figured out a way to get this done. And so they started making the holes for the windows, and they can go to the next one. They started putting the new windows in. Progress. And you can see on the next two, I took a photo of our new windows on the inside because there's sunshine, it's so beautiful. And so those are the windows on the 2nd floor that I took actually today, because it was really sunny and pretty out, so. And then we got to, you can go to the next one. Then we got to fall, and we were putting on the gutters in the back wall, and we discovered the wall was not square, that there was a big buckle in the middle of the wall. So brought engineers in again, and they said, you have to replace the wall from studs all the way up. So we started this project in the fall, and then we had a setback. They did the wall, and there was something wrong with it. So they had to do it again. So then they had to tear part of it down and redo some of it. And so in the next picture, you can see we're still in the winter trying to do the wall. So they were having to heat it and that sort of thing. We still have an issue with the wall because something that happened here. So I'll deal with that later. But so we finally got the new wall done, and we've moved on from that. Then the next one, everybody remembers this, August 10th. The duration came in. So we had just got our new canopy up, our new signs up about 2 months. We were getting ready to move in. Service Master was actually there that day doing post-construction cleans. We were ready to get back in. And then the duration happened. And this is from our front floor. That is during the duration. That is as the canopy is falling. Yes, I was not in a shelter at the time. I was watching the store get torn down. And so tore the canopy down. You can see how the rain and all that sort of thing. So next slide. That's what it looked like, but the windows didn't get broken. Do you see that? Look how close that is, and not one window was damaged. It was just the canopy. So that little truck there is the people to come and take the canopy back down. And then I think the next slide is just from the other side. So, and then we lost a couple letters, and all the neon broke in the letters again. So Nagel Sign is redoing that for us and everything. But I finally got to a point that I'm not going to wait any longer to open. We just need to move it. So on September 26th, we open back up. We still have, the canopy has to go back in. I was just talking to the contractor today. He's hoping to get that in by November 10th. My new goal is holiday stroll. Love to have that done by then. So, but I've had like 20 goals that have come and gone and whatever. And then Kent just called when I was out in the parking lot from Nagel and said they are just going to be there in the next couple of days to get the signs. And the last thing is at the very top of the building, this building, there's a new cornice that's going to go in. And I actually have a picture over there, but it's all right. And so that is supposed to be in hopefully by November 10th as well. So I'm hoping to get those done. But anyway, I didn't want to talk just about history today. For me, I told Todd this, the history to me is a little boring. I mean, maybe because I've grown up with it and I've heard it forever, and fourth generation, and so we all have a lot of old people in our family, I'm sure. But I wanted to talk about the last 2 years. And after I was talking to Mark last week about what he's going through now, I feel your pain, and I'm here for you. If you need a contractor, I probably worked with them, so ask. But otherwise, we're back downtown, and I could not be happier. Any questions?
Where you don't know what happened to all that furniture?
The insurance company takes it, and did not ask where. I hope they did not take it and sell it to people, because a lot of it had glass in it and stuff, and we were told by Service Master you just cannot get glass out of material, furniture, that sort of thing. So I don't know. Who knows? Oh, another one. Yeah. Not in front of everybody. That conversation? I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Say the last part. Repeat his question. I'm asking him his question. Okay. Oh. Tom asked how I rallied the employees to get them to help and come. I don't know. I fed them a lot of food. But I really tried to have a family-oriented business. You know, we really are family. It's a family-owned company. It's family-run. So when I called, they came. I didn't really ask, why, but they were great. And I couldn't have done it. And then when we moved back in, we had to do it all over again. So to ask those people that did it last time and knew how hard it was to come back a second time, and this time we did it again, and I think we moved in about 4 days. And we're still not there. We still have pictures to put on the wall. So imagine, moving your home times like 40. And so it's going to take a while. John's still working on some things. Look, he's rolling his eyes because I just asked him about the trim on second floor today. He's like, yes, Erin, you've asked me about it like 10 times. I know, but I just want to get it done. But we're getting there. Yeah, Carrie.
I just want to say congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm very good. It'll get there. We're going to be there real soon. I was really hesitant to move back because I wanted to move back into a finished building, and it was, and so it's just time. It was time. So I wanted to be back downtown for the holidays too. So thank you. Yes, sir.
Well, I'm very happy that you're doing that downtown, bringing our downtown back. When I was a kid, my
was the building like that original one? Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was a great time. Kept it downtown. That my wife and I went back and shop. Well, excuse me, my wife was there shopping. But it was a great thing downtown. You're in there now, going down the street, just like you're all way back when you were small.
Yeah.
What's your feeling about our town?
He's asking me what my feeling is about the downtown and being back down there. You know, growing up as a little girl, my dad would go in the office on Sundays, and there used to be the little newspaper stand down the street with the candy. And so we would go with him so we could go to the candy store, and he'd go and get his newspaper. And then back then, we had huge rolls of carpet in the basement, and we'd go and play on those. Now, nowadays, I wouldn't let my child go play on huge rolls of carpet but my dad was up in his office and didn't care what we were doing. So, but I feel like the community feeling is there, and that maybe another good thing to come out of the tornado is that community effort. Again, we're united again, and I guess in tragedy and what has happened. And I'm excited. I'm so excited to see what happens with the courthouse and all the other buildings that are happening downtown, and you know, our whole community, because with the derecho, it hit everybody. And so, you know, I'm excited as ever to be in Marshalltown for sure. A lot of people ask me, and it kind of made me start to wonder, but they'd say, so you're going to stay? You know, and it never crossed my mind to leave. And maybe it should have, maybe I'm that stupid that I should have thought, well, maybe you should. It also made me wonder when people were saying, God, I don't know, like, are you okay? They kept asking, like, yeah. Should I not be okay? Like, am I that crazy that I don't know I'm crazy or something? But no, it was never that at all. I'm excited to have, I'm really excited for Holiday Stroll because we're starting to make that move back. And I know some people said after Parkersburg, it takes about 5 years is what I have heard. I mean, to really, really get back. And we're making strides, we're getting there. Oh, I've got a location in Waterloo and Ottumwa and Coralville, and staying really busy. Retail is hard right now, really hard. Manufacturers are delayed months and months and months. So we're just having to really try to figure out how to get product for our customers and how to not disappoint them, because it's not an Amazon world anymore. And I think for me, I hate Amazon anyway, and this whole immediate gratification stuff. So I think that's probably a good thing, but yeah, I should mention this because I never thank my husband enough. Seriously, he's done everything in that building, the water remediation, just a lot. So I'm gonna thank you one more time because I never thank him. You know how that goes, right? So any other questions? Good. Oh, geez, Joel. Yes, Joel. Yes, Mr. Mayor.
If I got it all done, and then the demolition happens on the east side. Kind of a pain to call for me. I still feel bad. The city couldn't do more in this spot.
Yeah.
Can you get that fixed up okay?
Yes, the city, he's talking about on the corner, what would be that, where Kibbe used to be, for you people have been here a while. When they were demoing that, the guy that was demoing didn't know how to demo, and he started taking down part of my wall with it. So that was part of it. But the city came through. They helped me out. They helped me get that wall repaired. So I'm not mad at the city. I mean, I love all the people over there. Poor Jessica has got to hear from me more than she probably ever has wanted to hear from me. But you know, those are the kind of the little setbacks that came along the way. You think, oh my gosh, how much more? But you know, again, out of that, we have a beautiful, beautiful new wall there, and so I just have to be happy for those. But thank you, Joel, for saying that. I appreciate it. Now am I done? Yes.
Thank you very much, Erin. That was very interesting, and we appreciated hearing from you. And I hope that John will now take you out for a great dinner or do something special to celebrate. Okay, next week we'll be having Bethany Weirin as our guest speaker. She's going to tell us about the Marshalltown Christian Church, Christian School, and so you'll want to be here for that. Please rise and join me in reciting the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, first, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it be beneficial to all concerned? I'm sorry, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Sorry. Oh, we're adjourned.